In the second episode of See You in My 19th Life, Ji-eum recalls her previous life with Shoha while driving a race car. They were close friends, and Shoha even promised to marry her. However, an accident occurred, and they got separated. The scene then shifts to an interview where Shoha is taken aback and questions Ji-eum if she is serious and understands the purpose of the meeting. Shoha finds it absurd that she asked him out on a date during an interview, especially since they are strangers. Ji-eum insists that they are not strangers, but Shoha doubts that he has ever met her. Ji-eum brings up the idea of dating if Shoha is still unsure about hiring her. This time, Shoha firmly reminds her that they are in a professional setting. Later, Shoha asks Ha Do-yeon if he has ever encountered Ji-eum, but Do-yeon is certain they haven't met. Meanwhile, Ji-eum confides in Aek-young about the interview, and Aek-young laughs but supports her. Aek-young suggests that Ji-eum consider telling Shoha the truth, but Ji-eum is unsure if she's willing to take that risk. Shoha ignores calls from Yoon Cho-won and asks Do-yeon to handle it for him. It appears that Cho-won has feelings for Shoha, but he is not interested in her. Cho-won is excited to hear that Shoha is back in the country and working at the hotel. Although she knows that Lee Ji-suk likes her, Cho-won is not ready to give up on Shoha just yet. The next day, while walking to the hotel, Shoha becomes overwhelmed by the noise and experiences a panic attack. Fortunately, Ji-eum notices him and comes to his aid. She asks him to run, pretending that she is in danger, which helps distract him and calm him down. Shoha is surprised when she reveals that it was just a prank. They find a shady spot under a tree and take a break. Ji-eum checks on Shoha and gives him advice on dealing with his panic attacks. Shoha starts to think that Ji-eum is a liar because she keeps talking about things that happened before she was born. To distract him, Ji-eum suddenly proposes to Shoha, hinting at how they met. On their way back, Ji-eum sees some traditional combs and gently combs Shoha's hair, suggesting how they could use them at the hotel. At night, Ji-eum looks at the stars and remembers when Shoha proposed to her in her previous life. She feels happy and excited to have him back in her life. The next morning, Ji-eum drives to the hotel and encounters Lee Ji-suk, who is angry that she rejected his offer to work at Daewon. He confronts her roughly, but Ji-eum surprises him by dancing the flamenco. Shoha arrives and intervenes. Lee Ji-suk accuses him of stealing someone he was interested in and criticizes the hotel. Ji-eum is displeased with this and warns him quietly before leaving. They reach Shoha's office, and Ji-eum insists that she is determined to convince him to hire her at any cost. As they talk, Cho-won arrives, and Ji-eum has mixed emotions upon seeing her all grown up. Do-yeon takes Cho-won aside, and Shoha continues his meeting with Ji-eum. She wants him to review some documents about the hotel to demonstrate her value and what she can bring to the job. Shoha is surprised by her determination and promises to review the documents. Ji-eum goes to get a drink but realizes she forgot to give Shoha another document. She sees him and rushes over to give him the second document, which turns out to be a drawing of the hotel during its prime. This triggers Shoha's memories of his mother and how she used to manage the hotel when he was young. Eventually, Shoha agrees to hire Ji-eum, and she promises to stand by his side. After securing the job, Ji-eum visits Cho-won's flower shop and watches her from a distance. She starts to wonder about the nature of her relationship with Shoha. The next morning, Shoha and Ji-eum arrive at the hotel and witness a commotion caused by Chan-hyuk. He is the son of Mrs. Jang, the woman Seoha's father is seeing. Sadly, we learn that Shoha's father was cheating on his wife with Mrs. Jang even before she passed away. Shoha bans Chan-hyuk from entering the premises and personally informs Mrs. Jang about his decision. Mrs. Jang pretends not to be bothered, but she is actually very angry. Later, Shoha overhears some staff members talking, and it's clear that they have no faith in him. Nevertheless, he continues with his work and assigns roles to everyone except Ji-eum. He is not sure where to place her because she is talented, so he tells her to help out wherever she wants. After the meeting, Cho-won comes by to give her portfolio. She heard that the hotel is looking to hire a landscaping company and is certain that Shoha won't choose her. She asks Ji-eum if she can apply anonymously, and Ji-eum agrees to help, Meanwhile, Ji-eum runs into Do-yeon, who is suspicious and accuses her of having hidden motives. She admits that she does have motives, but none of them involve hurting Shoha. Shoha sees them talking and asks Do-yeon what they were discussing. Do-yeon tells him that Ji-eum admitted to having hidden motives. After work, Shoha goes swimming and remembers where he met Ji-eum. He recalls her as the young girl who used to follow him and once saved him from trouble with some construction workers. He calls Ji-eum and asks her to meet him because he remembers her. Ji-eum quickly goes to meet Shoha, with her friend tagging along. When she arrives, Shoha shows her an old handkerchief as proof that he remembers her. Back then, a young Ji-eum excitedly asked him to marry her when she grew up. He found her adorable, especially when she helped him with his wound using her handkerchief. Now that Shoha remembers her, Ji-eum explains that he was her first love and tries to express her feelings, but he turns her down. Meanwhile, Mrs. Jang and Shoha's dad, Young-hoon, feel uneasy having Shoha around. Young-hoon reassures Mrs. Jang that Shoha will leave soon and suggests giving him some space. They have a meeting with Do-yeon to discuss Shoha's plans for the business. Mrs. Jang seems unhappy about Shoha becoming a director. She thinks he has a sense of entitlement, while Young-hoon asks Do-yeon to keep Shoha under control. However, Do-yeon refuses, and Young-hoon insists on transferring Shoha in 2 years. He even tries to bribe Do-yeon, but Do-yeon refuses to go along with the dishonesty. The next morning, Ji-eum tells Aek-young about Shoha, recalling how she remembers him and hopes to start dating him. She receives a call from Shoha, who asks for her help. Ji-eum quickly drives to meet him and agrees to take him wherever he needs to go. During the drive, Shoha receives a call from Cho-won, which he ignores. Ji-eum suggests that he confide in a stranger and offers to be his secret journal. They arrive at their destination. And Ji-eum is surprised to see that Shoha is visiting Ju-won's grave. She starts to realize that in her previous lives, she only felt her own pain, but in her 19th life, she can feel Shoha's pain and desperately wants to comfort him.